So in this video I'm going to be showing you an acrylic design inspired by Lisa Winter. So I've applied my CJP tips, done all my prep, everything like that. I applied my primer, and now I'm just applying a thin clear base using CJP crystal glass with the CJP ultra adhesive monomer and my big boy brush. It's just a nice thin layer on all the nails, just as a base and something to file back to. So on this first nail, I'm coming in at the cuticle with a colour that I mixed myself using CJP Grape Jelly, Navy and Electric Blue. So I push that colour right up into that cuticle area, making sure I'm not touching the skin. You don't want any overexposure or anything like that. And just blend that up. Then just apply a little bit more where that ends, blend it back into your first bead and then fade it up into the clear tip. Absolutely love this colour. I was really pleased with how it turned out. I then dip into my crystal glass, picking up a tiny bead, and then into a blue multi-cut glitter and a purple multi-cut. These are both really old glitters. I think the blue one is from Glitter Heaven, Australia, and the purple one I think is just one off eBay. So I'll just let that glitter set once I'm happy with the placement. And then on this nail, I'm applying that gorgeous blue colour again, just as a thin wash on the nail. So I'm not applying much thickness at all, just applying a really thin, wet layer. So I'm going to be applying some angel paper to this nail. Just make sure all that nail is covered. There's no little gaps. And then I've already pre-cut a piece of unicorn film from the Glitter Planet. Scrunched it up, and then I'm just sticking that onto the nail, into that tacky layer of acrylic. Make sure all those edges are pressed down and then cut any excess off. And as you can see, just on that little side bit, it was a little bit short. So I'll just come in, as you'll see in a moment, and just apply a thin piece of angel paper into that corner. It looks really obvious when I apply it like this, but as the finished result, you couldn't tell at all. It blended nicely. I just wanted to fill that gap with a little bit of acrylic and just press it into place with my brush and my nail. And I will do a similar tutorial to what I've got on my nails. I know I had a lot of people asking me about them. So then I come back to this nail and cap in crystal glass. Apply quite a large bead at that cuticle area, get my brush right behind the bead, getting it nice and flush at that cuticle area, tilting my brush up slightly when I'm doing this, and then walk the rest of that bead down the nail with the belly of my brush, and then cutting off any excess at the end, so you've still got that little bit of thickness at the end. Obviously you don't want it too thick, but you don't want to wipe the clear off the end so that there's no strength there at all. On this nail, I'm applying the blue colour again to the whole nail, applying quite a large bead at the cuticle area. Wiping my brush after I've placed the bead down so I'm not adding any more monomer. Getting it nice and neat and flush in your cuticle area, and then just pulling the rest of that bead down the nail. When I'm doing this, whether I'm doing a colour or I'm capping the nail, I do apply quite a firm pressure to really pull that bead down, because the big boy brush is quite soft, so you need to really put some pressure on. I'm just placing my pinching tool on. When the product is matte but not sticky, but it's still mouldable. So I'm then coming in with the blue multi-cut glitter again, just applying with a tiny bead of crystal glass and just fading that down the nail and using the tip of my brush to push that into place until I'm happy with that placement. and then come and cap this nail in crystal glass. When you're doing a nail like this that's full angel paper, you do need to leave a tiny hairline gap all the way around that angel paper, because if you don't, there'll be gaps and water will get under and it will just lift off. So you really need to make sure that you've got a gap, literally a tiny gap. You can barely see it, but just a gap big enough for you to cover with acrylic so it stays on the nail. So on this nail I'm doing a smile line, so I'm using CJP Birthday Suit, applying the bead in the reverse method and then pulling the edges of that bead down the nail, making sure I blend the back of that bead in with my natural nail so you don't get any shadowing when you apply your second bead. So I then come in and use the body and also the tip of my brush just to neaten up that smile line, get it nice and crisp, and then using the belly of my brush just to flatten it slightly. Then come in with my cuticle bead, getting my brush right behind it, tilting my client's finger down and then pulling just the top of the bead up into that first bead. You don't want to pull the whole bead over your first bead. You want to keep the majority of the colour in that cuticle area and just blend the top of that bead in. And again, just come in and neaten up that smile line with your brush, just so it gives you less filing to do. And just keep moving my pinching tool on. So this nail is a sort of a stripy marble nail. So I'm coming in with that colour I mixed myself in the corner and just going sort of diagonally up the nail. You don't want it to look too stripy, so don't be too precise when you're applying your different colours. So then come in with Birthday Suit up to that first colour, just fading it in a little bit. And then come in with some of the purple multi-cut glitter, just along that join of those two colours, and then blend it out. Again, don't keep your glitter really harsh and straight. You want to blend it out so it looks nice and blended, not too obvious and harsh. So then come in with CJP Electric Blue. And this is one of my favourite colours. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's so sparkly, super pigmented. And then again with Birthday Suit. Again, keeping it diagonal, but sort of not in the same shape as your previous line. Like I say, you don't want it to just look like stripes. And then come in at the tip with the colour that I mixed. I'm working quite wet with these colours so they blend nice and easily. And then come in with some of that blue glitter again, that gorgeous multi-cut. and the purple glitter. And I'm literally using the tiniest little blob of crystal glass to pick up the glitter, because I don't want to be adding loads of bulk with a really big bead of clear. And then once I'm happy with that placement, I cap in crystal glass. So I then come in with my 100-180 grit file from TNBL and refine that smile line, keeping my brush at a 90-degree angle, holding it flat against that smile line and going round from side to side. Remove all the dust, and I then come in with the purple glitter, again using a tiny bead of crystal glass, and I'm basically just butting that glitter up to that smile line, working all the way around, using the tip of my brush to get that glitter right into those corners. And basically, yeah, just pushing and placing that glitter until you're happy with the coverage and your placement. I know when I do smile lines, I normally go over it with whatever colour I'm using, but when I'm using glitter or a colour that's not a strength powder, I apply up to the smile line and then cap in clear. Obviously, if you put this over the smile line, it would just file straight off. So I'm coming in at the tip with the blue glitter and then just blending that into the purple. And when I'm happy with the coverage and the placement, I will cap that free edge in crystal glass. Onto my filing technique. So starting off, refining those sidewalls, making sure they're nice and crisp, holding my file nice and flat and flush against those. Refine the free edge, come round and contour your sidewall, round your cuticle area, really tucking that file in and then contouring up your other sidewall. And then down the barrel of the nail, thinning it out if you need to, and just generally refining and smoothing that nail. Filing underneath those sidewalls to make sure they come out nice and straight from your natural nail. And just generally going over, refining, smoothing, making sure it's nice and neat and you've got no lumps and bumps. You also want to be checking your apex as well to make sure it's in the right place. And then I just quickly run over with an entity buffer. I don't buff it loads to a shine, I just literally remove those surface scratches and continue on all the nails. And then remove all the dust and wipe over with either acetone or isopropyl alcohol. And then coming in with CJP gripper glue using my crystal katana, and I'm applying some opals from the Glitter Planet. And you can use my discount code Pilgrim10 on their website to get 10% off. And the little blue crystals are from Crystal Parade. Just literally using the tiniest bit of glue to stick the crystals on, and then placing them using my katana. And then applying my CJP Tack-free top coat, keeping your layers nice and thin. You don't want to be flooding that nail in that cuticle area. So on the crystal nail, just go round the crystals and not over them. And when you're happy, cure in my LED lamp, which is my Sun UV Sun 4 lamp, for 60 seconds. And then allow it to cool for 60 seconds as well before you apply your cuticle oil once it comes out of the lamp. And all the products that I've used today, I will leave links in my description box. So you can have a look at those and purchase those if you want to. And here's your finished look. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it.